Okay, portion of Bechukosai. In Bechukosai Teileichu, if you walk in my statutes, that's mitzvosai tishmanu, and you observe my mitzvos, asisimosam, and you do them. Seems to be, part of it seems to be redundant. If you accept my statutes, you walk in them, and you observe my mitzvahs. So if you're observing the mitzvahs, it seems, and then you do them. See, observing the mitzvahs means the commandments. That means you're observing them. You're actualizing. What's vasisimos? Let's see Rashi. Bechukosai Teileichu. Yochel zekim mitzvahs. Maybe it's referring to the actually fulfillment of the mitzvahs. Sheomer it's musai tishmaru, but that can't be because harekim mitzvahs amor. We see that what? That the fulfillment of the mitzvahs is already mentioned afterwards. Hamani mekan Bechukosai Teileichu. What aspect are we addressing when we say you walk in my statutes? Shetu amedu Torah. When you toil Torah, when you learn study Torah, you should toil in my Torah. Amelus. Amelus. That's Mesosei Tishmoru. What does that mean? Amelim al manas lishmor ulakayim. It's not enough to toil to understand the Torah. You know, we had the Gemara, I always mentioned the Gemara Megillah. The Gemara Megillah tells us, Yogato motzoso. When it comes to coming upon the truth of Torah, you can only come upon the truth of Torah if you toil. Yigio means toil. Yogato motzoso. If you toil, you will find. If a person says, Yogati v'lo motzosi, I've toiled, I did not come upon its truth, the Gemara says, you should not believe that person. What does it mean you shouldn't believe him? You may believe that you toiled sufficiently, but if you did not come upon its truth, that indicates you did not toil sufficiently. Although in your own mind, you believe you toiled sufficiently. What about a person that says, Lo yagati motzosi, I did not toil and I came upon the truth of Torah? Although you may believe that it's the truth, you did not come upon its truth. The only time you come upon the truth of Torah is only if it's based on the prerequisite of toiling. It's interesting. The Gemara in Sanhedrin cites a pasuk in Eov that Eov says, Odom lomul yulod. Man was born to toil. And the Gemara asks, what does Eov mean when he says man was created to toil, was born to toil? Doesn't mean physical work. Gemara says, shows it doesn't mean that. So Gemara says, cites a pasuk which follows in Eov. Amol means amol piv, to toil with your mouth. So what does it toil with your mouth? It means toil in Torah. If you toil with your mouth, through words, verbally in Torah, then that's the objective why man was created. That's the Gemara in Sanhedrin, based on this pasuk in Eov, in Job. But the pasuk is, Odom la'amol yulod. You were born to toil, and toil means amal pi, toil through verbal, something which has verbal, which is the learning of Torah. We'd mentioned the Gemara in Eruvin that when one studies Torah, you have to verbalize the Torah. And the Gemara quotes a pasuk, Chaim hi lemotzoehem. The Torah brings life, lemisha motzi bepeh. Only when you articulate the Torah, when you say the words, only then does it really resonate and impacts you. It's a different level of impact. I mean, of course, when you read, you have to meditate, you have to think, you try to understand. But ultimately, what you study, you have to verbalize. There has to be some degree of verbalization. And then it brings Chaim L'Motzeim. We had mentioned that when Hashem created Adam, it says, he infused them with a soul. He blew a soul of life through his nostrils. And he became a living entity. Nefesh chayo. So over there, the Targum Uklus, and the Chofetz Chaim mentions it a number of times. What does it mean, Nefesh Chayo? He became Ruach Memalo. When Hashem infused the Neshama into Odom, he became a speaking species. So speaking is a direct derivative, an outgrowth of the soul, of the spirituality of the person. To be able to affect and develop and advance the Neshama, you have to have the ability to speak. Speech is part of development. Odom, so therefore, Odom Lomel Yulod. Man was created Lomel Amelus. And the Gemara cites the pasuk in the Ov a little further, means Amal Peh. It's toiling with your mouth. And what is with the mouth? The study of Torah. Therefore, Torah has to be verbalized. So when you study, so here it says, Bechukosai Teileichu. You have to be open. It's not enough to say the words of Torah. You have to really, when you say those words, it's with a tremendous, a phenomenal level of investment, of mind, and ability, and concentration to be able to understand, to come upon the truth of Torah. Only then do you merit its truth. Yogatam Otsoso. Tommy. Only then it happens. It's interesting, the Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva, famous Rambam, there's a person that's tshuva. The Rambam says that it's not enough to have remorse in your heart and commit yourself that you're not going to violate it again, but you have to you need verbal confession. Without verbal confession, one does not have kapara, meaning you're not reinstated. You're not spiritually rehabilitated. The spiritual rehabilitation, when you do tshuva, it's not enough to feel the remorse and make the commitment in one's mind and one's heart. You have to verbalize and you have to say, I have remorse, I regret, I commit myself. You have to have the verbalization, because anything that has to do with the spirituality of the Jew needs verbalization. The study of Torah, which is the ultimate, Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam, Tshuva, which is a reinstatement of the relationship with Hashem, the spiritual rehabilitation, that's called vidui. Vidui, you need vidui peh. You need verbal confession. Bechukosai Teileichu. Into Amela Batorah. You need omel. And what does omel mean? Based on the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Pasuk in Iyov, Odom Amol Yulad Amelus Bepeh. But it's not enough just to be omel b'Torah to try to understand the Torah. It's almanas. It's omel, you study Torah almanas to fulfill the mitzvahs. It's liban almanas lasos, as it says in Pirkei Avos. One has to study almanas lasos. Even though you try to understand, but it's purely for intellectualism. It's not to understand the Torah, to how to actualize the mitzvahs. The Torah doesn't have that value. So Bechukosai Teileichu. That's Amelus B'Torah. And over here, the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh explains, why is it a chok? It's understood. It's a chok. It's a statute. A person has a genius IQ. He understands it. Why can't it come upon the truth without the total level of commitment, investment of the totality of the person? That's the chok. That's the chok. That's the prerequisite. It's not only how your intellect, but it's the level of investment, to what degree you value it. We speak about Asay Torah Keva, Mulach Tcharai, Pirkei Avos. Your Torah should be primary, and your work should be secondary. Meaning that the core of a Jew's life, everything revolves around the objective. What's the objective? Your spirituality, your spiritual development, your service of Hashem. That's Torah Keva. But Torah Keva, so again, what do we toil for? Person works. You work. What are you working for? You're working for something which is primary in your life. That's where you invest your ability. So what's primary? Primary is Torah Keva. So because it's Keva, only to indicate that and to display that, what do you need? You need Amelus. Person goes to work and he only addresses it like haphazardly or backhandedly. You're not really focused. You're not giving it your full ability. So what indicates that your level of dedication? It's always the amelus. It's always when you toil, and which indicates that's the ultimate, and that has that special value. Like we said, the only way you could come upon the truth of Torah is only if you toil. Why? That's the question. Because that's etched in stone. God says, I only release the truth of Torah only if you reach a certain level of accomplishment, of development, a certain level of dedication. You have to revere and esteem it to a certain degree, then I will reveal to you the truth of Torah. And there's a famous word from, it's not clear what the source is. It's either Rav Chaim Volozhiner or Rav Chaim Brisker. The Gemara says, Yogato motzoso. If you toil, you'll find it. And when you work on something to understand something, what's the seemingly the correct term? Yogato ivantum. You've toiled, you will understand. But it doesn't say you will understand. It says motzoso. You will find it. A gift, if you meet certain prerequisites, it's like a person finds a treasure. You come upon it. You uncover enough of the earth, and there's a treasure that you'll come upon it. You come upon it. It's a gift. The truth of Torah is a gift. Except to be worthy, to qualify for the gift, the prerequisite is your gaito. To show to what degree you value and revere and esteem it, to that degree Hashem will give you that gift. Will give you the truth of Torah. So that is a chok. Why? That's a chok. That's a statute. It's not a rational law. And even when you study, you have to study Amnas L'Kayim. It's not this, I'm toiling to understand the Torah. Why? What do you understand it? Because the Torah is the prerequisite to be able to, this is Godla Talmud Shatam Masa. Great is the study of Torah, because ultimately, based on the quality of the investment of Torah, to that degree you can actualize the mitzvah. There's a direct linkage between the study of Torah and to what degree you can actually serve Hashem. Therefore, you have to be lilmod, you have to toil, abnas l'kayim, mitzvosai. To that component, that's a chok.